Namaste, my dear friends, and welcome to today's intriguing topic of mantras. What I will share today is a brief introduction to the expansive realm of mantras. The word mantras etymology is rooted in the phrase Mananat Trayate iti mantraha, where manana translates to the intentional repetition of syllables or words or verses for internalization and memorization. Trayate signifies that which can lead you to a higher spiritual ground or liberation eventually. In essence, a mantra is a tool that guides you to your destination when intentionally repeated and its essence internalized. Mantras are rooted in the universal principles of sound, vibration, and mindfulness. It is said that to recite a mantra doesn't necessarily require any kind of faith. The practice is considered a standalone act, independent of one's beliefs, allowing individuals to engage in mantra recitation without the necessity of a pre existing faith. Mantra recitation is a process to harness universal energy to reach your goals. The inherent power of mantras lies in their capacity to transcend specific doctrines, providing a shared pathway to mindfulness and well being accessible to individuals from diverse cultural and spiritual backgrounds. Regardless of one's religious affiliation, the repetitive chanting of mantras serves as a contemplative practice, fostering inner calm, focus, and a sense of spiritual connection. Religious practices have evolved around mantras to instill discipline and sanctity into the act of reciting them, with various types of mantras requiring specific practice for effectiveness. The deep connection between mantras and certain religions become evident. Reciting mantras stand as an integral part of most Eastern cultures. The ritual associated with mantras gradually dissipate for an individual who, through sincere practice, has internalized the mantra. As one imbibes the mantra deeply, the need for specific rituals and discipline diminishes over time. The mantra becomes integrated into the individual's energy field, a process that typically takes a few years of dedicated practice. It's more important to know that if an individual starts a practice but lets it go for some reason, it doesn't necessarily mean that the mantra has become an integral part of their energy. However, by starting the practice of any mantra, even for a short time, an individual sows its seeds. Regular practice helps water those seeds, which leads to fruition of the mantra eventually. When the mantra truly becomes a fundamental aspect of an individual's energy, they will intuitively know it, much like unmistakable signs of a full stomach or a quenched thirst. There is an intrinsic understanding, and there is no need to convey it to others. At this point, the reliance on rituals diminishes as the mantra becomes an inherent and self evident presence in one's being. Mantras serve diverse purposes, including spiritual growth, material manifestations, healing, attraction, mitigating the negative effects of karma, and expressing love and devotion to the divine, and many more applications. The applications of mantras are indeed vast and varied, mirroring the infinite nature of the mantras themselves. In Sanatana Dharma, mantras find their origin in Sanskrit language, which is said to be a gift to humanity from gods and ancient sages. Sanskrit as a language possesses a frequency uniquely attuned to connect with the divine. It is also called as the language of gods. The prerequisites for starting mantra chanting include an interest in beginning the practice and vak shuddhi, which emphasizes clear pronunciation of the syllables. The correct pronunciation is crucial as vibrations produced during mantra recitation are intended to align with our goals. Incorrect pronunciation may disrupt the vibrational harmony with the mantra's intent. potentially hindering the desired results, and in some cases, leading to adverse outcomes. As per a study by James Hartzell, a postdoctoral researcher at Spain's Basque Center on Cognition, Brain and Language, who has spent years studying and translating Sanskrit and became fascinated by its impact on the brain and has conducted research on what he terms the Sanskrit effect. This refers to the cognitive benefits associated with the recitation of Sanskrit verses. Hartzell's study suggests that chanting or reciting Sanskrit mantras activates specific neural pathways in the brain. The rhythmic and melodic aspects of Sanskrit chanting are believed to enhance the cognitive functions such as attention, memory, and emotional regulation. Dr. Hartzell says, I noticed that more Sanskrit I studied and translated, the better my verbal memory seemed to be. Fellow students and teachers often remarked on my ability to exactly repeat lecturers' own sentences when asking them questions in class. Other translators of Sanskrit told me of similar cognitive shifts. India's Vedic Sanskrit Pandits trained for years to orally memorize and exactly recite 3,000-year-old oral texts ranging from 40,000 to over 100,000 words. We wanted to find out how such intense verbal memory training affects the physical structure of the brains. Dr. Hartzell's research is the first study to examine the brains of Sanskrit scholars using structural magnetic resonance imaging (MRI) at India's National Brain Research Centre. They scanned the brains of 21 Sanskrit Pandits and 21 control subjects. Dr. Hartzell says, what we discovered from the structural MRI scanning was remarkable. Numerous regions in the brains of the Pandits were dramatically larger than those of controls, with over 10% more grey matter across both cerebral hemispheres and substantial increase in the cortical thickness. Although the exact cellular underpinnings of grey matter and cortical thickness measures are still under investigation, increase in these metrics consistently correlate with enhanced cognitive function. It is said that the first sound of creation, Om, emanated from the divine instrument, Lord Shiva's Damaru, which is an hourglass shaped, two faced handheld drum. The Sanskrit alphabet sequence, known as Aksharamala, where A signifies without and Kshara means perishable, forming an imperishable sequence of sounds resembling a garland. This sequence, composed of swaras, which are vowels, and vyanjanas, consonants, which are believed to have originated from the sound Om, ceaselessly emanate from the Damaru. Therefore, when a sadhaka chants Sanskrit mantras, they automatically tap into these root energetic vibrations, making it more potent than chanting in any other language. Sage Panini's Ashtadhyayi mentions that the current Panini grammar was bestowed by Lord Shiva, also known as Maheshwara, and the organized sounds are referred to as Maheshwara Sutra. The Maheshwara Sutram constitutes 14 Sanskrit phonemes believed to seamlessly emanate from the ever beating Damaru. The Maheshwara Sutra goes as follows: I un rudrak e om e ouch hayavarat learn nyamangana nama chabhaya घढ़धश जबगड़दश ख फ छ ठ थ चटतव कपय शशसर हल इति माहेश्वराणि सूत्राणि. For a comprehensive understanding of syllables associated with each of our chakras from Lalita Sahasranama's perspective, along with in-depth information on the ruling goddesses and more, I invite you to explore the playlist's link in the description box, and you can find the same linked at the end of this presentation. If you are keen on delving further into the topic of mantras, You will also discover links to additional resources for your research in this description box. Now, coming back to mantras. Most mantras are structured into 6 segments, also known as Shadanga, which are Rishi, Chandas, Devata, Bija, Shakti, and Kilakam. Rishi is the visionary sage who received the mantra through dedicated penance, referred to as mantra drashtas. They not only obtained the mantra but some also visualized it during their penance. This accreditation acknowledges the individual who bestowed the mantra upon humanity. Chandas is the rhythmic pattern of Sanskrit syllable arranged in a specific meter. The mantra's efficacy depends on being recited in a perfect meter and pronunciation. This precision is crucial to generate the desired energetic vibrations within the practitioner, leading to the intended results. Next is Devata, the deity associated with the mantra. Sometimes mantra can transform into the deity itself as the energy takes symbolic forms representing qualities and capabilities for a practitioner. Various forms of god and goddesses serve as symbolic representation of these qualities. The symbology leaves a lasting impression on the subconscious, aiding long term recollection of the essence of the energy. The bodies of deities are often described as manifestations of mantras. Next is the bija, the seed of the mantra, a condensed form of more extensive mantra. For example, the Pranavanada bija is Om, and rest of the sounds are its manifestations. Think of it as the potential energy encapsulated in the mantra. Next comes Shakti, the feminine energy within the mantra, akin to the kinetic energy. This represents the dynamic, active force inherent in the mantra. And the last but not the least is the Kilakam, the lock that safeguards the potential of the mantra until the practitioner's progress in the mantra's practice reaches the stage where the potential can be unlocked, setting the kinetic energy into motion. It serves as a protective mechanism. When a practitioner or a sadhaka initiates the practice of a mantra, it typically begins with vocalization, known as vachika, to ensure proper pronunciation. Vachika serves not only to articulate the mantra accurately but also as a means to disengage the mind from external and internal distractions, centering it in the present moment. As proficiency grows, the mantra evolves into a whispered form called Upanshu. Subsequently, it transforms into mental repetition known as Manana, marking the stage where the mantra starts to manifest its effectiveness. When Manana matures, the Manana becomes so internalized that the practitioner no longer needs to actively recite it. The vibration of the mantra becomes deeply embedded, pulsating within the practitioner's energy field. This advanced stage is referred to as ajapa, where a means without and japa means repetition. Achieving ajapa requires sincere and dedicated practice. The three stages of vachika, upanshu, and manana can be seamlessly employed in a single mantra session. Initially, by practicing vachika of the mantra centers practitioner's focus. It transitions into Upanshu as focus intensifies. Eventually, the chants become manana, synchronizing with the practitioner's breath. Regular practice in this manner energizes the seed of the mantra. The optimal approach to mantra chanting is through manana, while Vachika and Upanshu play crucial roles in refining pronunciation and memorizing the correct intonation for effective manana practice. After becoming Ajapa, the mantra's energy concentrates over time, leading to a phenomenon known as mantra vispotana, where vispotana signifies explosion. This explosion is within the practitioner's energy field eventually yields the fruits of the mantra. It's important to note that reaching the final stage might take more than one lifetime. It could span several lifetimes. However, if someone attains siddhi, that is, superhuman powers or goal achievements in a single lifetime, it suggests extraordinary practice quality or a soul with a practice spanning multiple lifetimes. Mantras which are aimed at spiritual growth and liberation are the most potent mantras, take the longest to yield results, and have lasting effects. On the other hand, there are mantras designed for short term gains, suitable for immediate material accomplishments, but with a less enduring potency. The diversity of mantras is vast, with infinite ways to use them and an endless variety of mantras themselves. Broadly, they can be categorized into bija mantras, they are monosyllable and are used for the sound vibrations they produce. Saguna mantras are representatives of deities and their forms, aiding concentration and providing a symbolic understanding of the energy being evoked. This often works on subconscious level. You can also visualize your favorite deity, which may help you cultivate devotion fast. Devotion is known as the fuel to propel any practice to immense heights. And the next category is Nirguna or the formless mantras, represent universal energies. These mantras do not represent any form. Aim of any spiritual practice is to reach this stage where an individual can perceive the subtle qualities of the divine energy going beyond a form. Then again, mantras can be further classified based on the qualities of the mantras indicating their purpose. The first one is sattva, second is rajas, and the third is tamas. Sattvaguna mantras are used for spiritual purposes, to invoke the grace of a deity for spiritual growth and liberation. They may also express love and devotion to the deity. Next is Rajoguna mantras. These are typically used to manifest desires and goals such as a desired job, wealth, a spouse, success, and etc. And in the last, Tamoguna mantras, used for harmful purposes, seeking to inflict harm on others. However, utilizing mantras in this manner is cautioned, as the law of karma suggests that the negative actions may have equal repercussions. In essence, the classification of mantras into sattva, rajas, and tamas reflects their qualities and intentions. It emphasizes the importance of using mantras with positive intent and ethical considerations, as the consequences of our actions, including mantra practices, are believed to follow us, whether in this lifetime or the next. Certain mantras possess vibratory formulas with powers related to specific deities, representing the deity in full. By chanting these mantras, the practitioner invokes the energy and mercy of the deity, leading to spiritual realization. Mantras can be further categorized under these 6 types: Dhyana mantras, Bija mantras, Mula mantras, Stutis and Stotras, Pranama mantras, Gayatri mantras. There could be more classifications. If you know any further classifications of the mantras, please put them in the comments down below. Dhyana mantras are the mantras intended for meditation, describing the deity's forms, abode, or personality. Bija mantras, as explained earlier, are the seed words used for meditation and purifying worship articles. For example, Aim and Shreem linked to the feminine energy or Devi, and Gam connected to Ganesha, and so forth. Derived from the 50 prime sounds, Bija mantras invoke various energy levels and elements related to Om. Mula mantras. Mula mantras are essentially used for worship, represent the deity's essence when offering specific articles. Stutis and stotras are chanted before, during, and after worship. These are mantras or prayers glorifying the Lord's name from qualities and pastimes like Vishnu or Lalita Sahasranama. Pranama mantras. Pranama mantras are prayers offering respects to great personalities or the Lord, commonly used at the end of worship. Gayatri mantras. Gayatri mantras, whether Vedic or Pancharatrika, are employed to worship, invoke blessings, focus the mind on God, and evoke different moods, energies, or powers. Vedic mantras, originating from the Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva Vedas, are considered eternal spiritual sound vibrations, containing vast power and knowledge within them. Certain mantras, to yield results, can vary based on their purpose. Here are some key considerations. Mantras used for material prosperity, when done with good practice quality, may show results in a few days to a few years. Mantras aimed at higher goals, such as attaining superhuman capabilities or liberation, may take considerable amount of time to fructify. The duration is influenced by the quality of the practice rather than sheer quantity of repetitions. It's noteworthy that mantras often come with a recommended repetition count, typically in the thousands, over a period of time. This guidance acknowledges that average person may struggle to maintain single-pointed focus for extended periods. By encouraging the repetition of a mantra over a specific number of times, the intention is to ensure that within those repetitions there are moments of deep concentration. This focused repetition is believed to activate the potential inherent in the mantra. In essence, the efficacy of mantra practice is intricately linked to the practitioner's dedication, sincerity, and the depth and focus achieved during each repetition, rather than just the sheer number of repetitions. Now, emphasizing the crucial aspect of guidance in mantra practice. It is essential to highlight that not all mantras should be recited without the supervision of a knowledgeable guru who has mastered the specific mantra they pass on to their disciples. Having a guru to guide your practice is vital, helping regulate the chants for optimal benefits. Certain mantras, especially bija mantras and specific dikshas, which are ritualistic disciplines for mantra recitation, are not meant to be practiced without a guru. A guru carefully analyzes the pupil's capability and imparts the necessary practices, initiating them into the mantra. Not every individual possesses the spiritual and karmic maturity required for such potent mantras. Obtaining mantra dikshas and bija mantras online through social media or from teachers lacking the mastery of the mantra can be harmful in the long run. Mantra dikshas are highly personal. It is crucial not to take them lightly. It is akin to prescribing the same medication to every patient. What seems harmless to some may have adverse effects on others. Just as not every pupil is fit for any mantra dikshas, not every guru is qualified to give them. Authentic gurus with required mastery are rare in today's time. For those interested in mantra practice, starting with universally accepted mantras like Om Namah Shivaya, Namo Narayanaya, or Shri Matre Namaha, and etc., while adhering to the basic rules is more than enough to maintain the sanctity in the practice. Small rituals like having a bath and wearing clean clothes, lighting a lamp and incense before initiating mantra recitation can set the right mood for the practice. Certain mantras, known as Taraka mantras, like chanting Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, are believed to purify and dissolve the past karma over time. elevating individuals to higher vibrational states and potentially lead to liberation in this or future lifetimes. Visualizing your favorite deity or the universe and attributing the power of the mantra to them can foster devotion during chanting, expediting spiritual progress. Bhakti, pure love and devotion towards the Almighty, plays a significant role in enhancing any spiritual practice. Ultimately, when an individual is truly ready, a guru manifests, and if the guru deems it appropriate, they may initiate the person into a practice that suits them best. Patience, sincerity, and a deep connection with the practice are key aspects for spiritual journey. Explore various common mantras initially and settle on one that resonates with you. As Bruce Lee says wisely, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Therefore, focus on deepening your connection with one chosen mantra until it becomes a seamless part of your inner being, until it transforms into ajapa within you. The dedicated approach will enhance the effectiveness and depth of your spiritual practice. I would like to share a few interesting anecdotes about mantras as we almost reach the end of the topic now. There are numerous stories and accounts highlighting the healing properties attributed to mantras. In some instances, mantras have been used to counteract the effects of venomous bites, such as snakes and scorpion bites. Anecdotes like the one I heard from a Sanskrit scholar utilizing Vishnu Sahasranama, which is 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, to alleviate scorpion bite poisoning of a fellow student in their college, illustrates the perceived efficacy of these practices. Even revered figures like Shirdi Sai Baba have attested to the power of Vishnu Sahasranama for healing. In one instance, Sai Baba said to his dear devotee, Shama, "Oh Shama, this book is very valuable and efficacious, so I present it to you. You read it." Once I suffered intensely and my heart began to palpitate and my life was in danger. At that critical time, I hugged this book to my heart and then, oh Shama, what a relief it gave me. I thought that Allah Himself came down and saved me. So, I give this book to you. Read it slowly, little by little. Read daily, one name at least, and it will do you good. It is said that every name of Lord Vishnu in this series is a mantra by itself, which makes it very potent. These narratives underscore the belief in therapeutic potential of mantras for addressing physical ailments, showcasing the diverse ways in which mantras are woven into the fabric of spiritual and healing practices. Dear friends, this brings us to the end of the topic. I trust this brief introduction to mantras has offered valuable insights. I hope you make reciting and listening to mantras a daily practice for you and your loved ones. I invite you to share any additional information or feedback on this topic in the comments below. If you have enjoyed the video, kindly give it a thumbs up. And if you believe others may find it interesting or useful, please share it with them. I truly and deeply appreciate all the support and love you give me. Do not forget to explore the description box for a link to the playlist of each of our chakras from Lalita Sahasranama's perspective for a comprehensive understanding of the syllables associated with them, along with in-depth information on ruling goddesses and more. You can also find the playlist linked at the end of this presentation. If you are keen on delving further into the topics of mantras, you will also discover the links to additional resources for your research in the description box. Thank you for your time here. It is deeply appreciated from the bottom of my heart. I thank you again. This is when I say goodbye to you. Until next time, take care and ciao.